Guys, and just fly through Thursday's class with you just real quick. So first of all, mobility work. So same as usual, just 2-3 rounds of this as best you can. Just a couple of little new ones in today. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is an elevated pigeon stretch. Okay, so you can do this just on a chair, table, bench, bars, whatever you might have. Okay, it's going to obviously depend the height, going to be flexibility and stuff like that. Okay, so just do comfortable. If you can't do it elevated, then just revert back to on the floor as normal. Okay, so when you're doing an elevated pigeon stretch, I'm just going to do it up on the bars here. Okay, it's going to look the exact same thing, so I want that 90-degree angle. Okay, so it is going to increase the range of motion, or is it going to increase the stretch a good bit for you? Okay, but what a lot of people do is, what we want to try and do is increase the stretch even more. So what people will tend to do is they'll rotate their back, okay, so their lower back, and nothing's happening, and what actually ends up happening is this knee pops up. Okay, so to keep that down, okay, walking my foot in, I'm going to try and rotate my hips. Okay, so it's my hip, so I'm going to try and bring my left hip around, not my lumbar. So I'm not trying to rotate my lower back, I'm trying to rotate my hip. So I'm trying to turn that around, and then I'm increasing the stretch, okay, on the outside up nice and high. So it's just elevated, same idea as you normally would do with a pigeon stretch, and if you're trying to increase the stretch, it is rotating our hip around, not just twisting your back. Is that okay? So you're going to do about 45 seconds on each side with that. Then we're going to do our hip flexor. Okay, so we've done this one before, so it's very much like the quad stretch, okay, that we would normally do on the floor, but just we're going to open it up a little bit more, which will make this stretch go a little bit higher, a bit more in towards the hip flexor area. So best way that I find getting into this is I'm going to get into a really wide stance. Okay, so with my toes pointing forward, so really wide stance as much as I can, and then I'm going to lower myself down to the ground. Okay, so now I've just opened up my hip flexor as much as I possibly can, squeezing my glutes, tucking my pelvis under, and I'm going to push through. We can lean slightly back. I previously have shown that I like to hold something up overhead, okay, and pushing all the way right through with it. Okay, so I'm getting a big stretch, and it's up a lot higher than just my normal quad stretch in this position would be. So okay, so again about 30 to 45 seconds on each side with that. Then just some shoulder mobility work. So again, just a little bit different. We probably have done small variations and things like that, or done this a couple of times before. So what we're going to do is come down onto the floor. Okay, we're going to have our face down. We're going to rest our hands, okay, on the back of our head. Elbows are onto the floor. So from there, what I'm going to do is resting my head, I'm going to lift my elbows up as much as I can. Okay, I'm going to separate my hands, extending all the way out in front, keeping them elevated all the way right around. When I get behind, I'm going to rotate my arms. So my palms are now facing up the way. I'm going to bring all the way up as much as I can, and then I'm going to try and drop my elbows down towards the floor. Once I do that, I'm going to reverse, elbows back up, extending out to the side, rotating my palms all the way up, nice big circles, keeping them elevated up, back to behind my head, down, touch, up, and repeat. Okay, so you're going to do 5 of those. That is meant to be done really controlled, okay, and really deliberate. So it's not just a flying through it, okay, it is making sure we are keeping them up off the ground the whole time, all the way around, rotating to bring in behind, dropping the elbow down, back up, and back in. So really controlled all the time when you're doing that, and you're going to do 5 of those. Is that okay? After that, usual 2 to 3 rounds on that. Once we have that done, we are going into a endurance Metcon. Okay, so this is 25 minutes long, okay, and it is just constant the whole way through for 25 minutes. So when any breaks or anything you need during this is completely up to you how you break this up. This is steady pace. Do not start going 100 mile an hour at this in the first 5 minutes or so, okay, and trying to get loads of rounds done. Okay, you're just going to blow up by the time you get to 10-12 minutes. Okay, so steady pace. What we're going to be looking to do is 12 Renegade Rows, 8 thrusters, 12 swings, and 8 box jumps. Okay, that work is then going to be split up. Okay, so you will be forced to take a break, well not a break, sorry, you'll be forced to leave your rounds, and you will have to do 50 mountain climbers at the very start. Then after 3 minutes, after 7 minutes, after 12 minutes, and after 18 minutes. Okay, so 0, 3, 7, 12, and 18 minutes. You will have to do 50 mountain climbers. Okay, so the work is 12 Renegade rows. So a lot of us only have maybe one dumbbell at home. If you have a pair of dumbbells and they're a proper weight that you would normally use for Renegade rows, then work away with that. Other than that, we can use a single weight, whether it be dumbbell or kettlebell, will work for this. And what you can do instead is you can just do work all on one side first. So I'll get into my position. Okay, you're going to up, and touch. So I'll do 6 on one side, switch over, and then do 6 on the other side. Is that okay? Once you have that done, we're standing up with our weight. Okay, getting into our front rack position. It's going to be 8 thrusters. We'll do all 4 on one side, then we can switch over and do all 4 on the other side. So remember, it is all the way down, keeping that weight up, and punching that back weight all the way up overhead. Arm is finishing alongside my ear, pulling weight down, full squat down, up, and punching that weight all the way right up. Is that okay? Once you've that done, it is into 12 swings. So we can do these with kettlebell, or if you don't have a kettlebell, we can use a dumbbell for this as well. Okay, so the dumbbell, if you're using the dumbbell, I don't mind, it's up to you. You can go either single arm or you can go double arm if you want for all 12. It's going to be up to you. So the double arm, okay, is just holding. I find it's a little bit easier. Don't try and get your 2 hands in there. Just go with maybe your strongest hand and then your other hand wrapped over it like that. Is that okay? Other than that, you can go with one hand and you can alternate. So we can go one hand alternating like so. Okay, and then if you have a kettlebell, you just do it as normal. Is that okay? So it'll be 12 of those. Then it is 8 box jumps. So we'll have our height of our box, whether it's a chair, step, box, whatever it might be. Jumping up, standing up nice and tall, stepping back down. If you don't have a box, we can do hurdle jumps. Just get a pole, anything at all, just something to jump over and back across. Okay, or we can do broad jumps, long distance. If you're struggling with any of those, alternatives, obviously, as usual, step ups or anything like that. Is that okay? So a round consists of 12 Renegade rows, 8 thrusters, 12 swings, and 8 box jumps. On 0, 3, 7, 12, and 18 minutes, you must stop and complete 50 mountain climbers, and then you just continue from where you go back to your work and continue from where you left off. So you're just counting the Renegade rows, thrusters, swings, and box jumps as a round. Okay, and you're trying to get as many rounds done in 25 minutes as possible. Remember, this is an endurance kind of piece. Okay, so it is a nice, steady, constant pace throughout. Do not go off 100 miles an hour, taking whatever breaks you need during it. Is that okay? Perfect, good stuff.